Alright, you guys, I am going to try and make this as quick and painless as I possibly can. Now, when I teach or instruct people on how to do things, I like to explain the reason why things are done a certain way so that it will stick with you better and make more sense. Okay, so when we cut rhinestone templates with Cricut using Cricut Design Space, there's a whole process that goes with this, unfortunately. So please bear with me. I'm gonna try and make this not so lengthy a video. So let's get right into it. Now, first I want to let you know that in order to cut rhinestone templates with Cricut using Cricut Design Space, you have to get the measurement of your design first. Okay, now I use a program called Make the Cut in order to get that measurement. Now, yes, that will entail getting a whole nother program and paying for it, or you can use Inkscape, which is free, but I prefer Make the Cut because it's simple, straight to the point, not too many frills to it, and as I mentioned, yes, there is a price for it. However, I also use it for more than just rhinestone templates. I use it to create other things and do other things too. So for me, it's worth the investment. Now, I will show you an alternative to purchasing another program. You don't have to, but the alternative is a lot more aggravating, for lack of better words. So I'm going to show you the alternative first, and then I'll show you how to do this using Make the Cut. Okay, so let's get right into it. I want to let you know that this tutorial assumes that you know how to purchase Rhinestone Designs. Okay, and I'll leave a link in the description below this video of where you can get some excellent rhinestone designs. And it also assumes that you know how to download those designs after you purchase them, as well as extract the zip file from your downloaded designs and then work with that file in order to get your template to cut it out. All right, so this folder that we're in now is in my downloads folder, and it's a design called Beautiful. Now I'm going to open it real quick and let you see what that design is supposed to look like. So this particular design comes with 3 different files. Okay, there's the rhinestone file, which is the first one at the very top, where it's all rhinestones and it's super cute. It's Beautiful. Okay, the second design down in the middle is Beautiful, but it's just strictly an SVG file. Okay, so if you want to do it in vinyl and not in rhinestones, you have that option with this particular design. So you can cut it out strictly with just vinyl and no rhinestones. But if you want to mix and match rhinestones and vinyl, well, they give you that option as well, which is the very last one, where the whites is in vinyl and the U in the middle, the pink, is in rhinestones. All right, so that's just to show you there's 3 different files with this design, and that's helpful for us so that I can show you what you need to do. The troublesome way to achieve working with Cricut Design Space but getting the size, the correct size of your file first, is how you do this here. So with the rhinestone designs, they come with an SVG file. That is a cut file, SVG. Okay, there's also PLT, DXF, SVG, the encapsulated postscript, but I'm not using any of those. I'm going to use this SVG document, and it doesn't come with this one, the Make the Cut project document. I created that one, and then this Cricut document up here, I created that as well when I first bought this, but we're going to work with the original. So this Beautiful SVG document, double click that and open it, and what's going to happen is it will open up in Internet Explorer. All right, so I don't know if it works this way with Google, with Chrome, but I know it works this way with the Internet Explorer. And what it does is shows you the entire file. This is the entire cut file that we're going to upload into Cricut Design Space. So to get the appropriate size of all of this, we're going to right click and it opens up this pop-up menu, and we're going to come down here to where it says View Source. And when you click that, your source information for this HTML document is going to pop up. And way down here at the bottom in step number 4, see this one down here at the bottom, 2, 3, 4. And if you come across, it says SVG, and this is the web address, and it says preserve, and here is the size, 20.556 inches by 11.8806 inches. Okay, so you need to write that down, and that's what I'm going to do right now. Is 20.556 inches by, and that's wide, and high is 11.8806. Okay, so now that you have that information and it is written down, so now we want to go to Cricut Design Space. Okay, so we're going to open up Cricut Design Space, and I already have it open here, and I did as soon as you open up Cricut and it gives you all the designs and stuff, you want to click New Document. Okay, and now we're going to go to Upload. So we're going to upload an image, and I'm going to browse to where that file is. Now that I found that file, I'm going to click on it, Beautiful SVG document, and I'm going to open it. And once it opens up, you'll see all of the files are here, and they are the gray BETIFUL is down here. It's just really hard to see because of the checkered background, but it is there. That's the document we want. So we want to hit save down here in the lower right hand corner. And now that Cricut Design Space has saved that image exactly as it is, we're going to click on it once we get to this page to select it, and we're going to insert that image onto Cricut Design Space. Now before I hit insert images, I want to let you know this is the other reason why for me Make the Cut is invaluable. Okay, if you don't hear anything else I'm telling you, and or if you feel like you don't want to invest in a whole nother program in order to make your rhinestone templates, I totally get it. I bucked against it at first, but trust me, when you see how much it saves you aggravation and time and allows you to customize what you want, you'll see it's well worth the price. Okay, so let's go ahead and hit insert images, and I'll show you problem number 1. All right, so the first thing we see is this yellow banner. It says loading image. Wow, image beautiful is quite large. This may take a moment. All right, so problem number 1 that I have with just strictly using Cricut Design Space and not using a secondary program like Inkscape or Make the Cut is this. This is the problem. When you upload a rhinestone design into Cricut Design Space, it takes forever. Okay, and the reason why it takes forever, I'll show you. I can show you better than I can explain it, but essentially it's because it's trying to load the template background, the square. Is trying to upload all of those circles for each of the rhinestone holes, and it's trying to upload all of that and those cut files into Cricut Design Space. And unfortunately, Cricut imports it way bigger than the file is supposed to be. So that all of that combined together makes it take a long time to upload all of this to Cricut Design Space. Okay, so that being the case, this design, all of it, every bit of what you saw is supposed to upload, or you're supposed to cut it out at 20.556 inches wide by 11.8806 high. Remember that. And I'm going to make sure that that's on the screen so that we can see it, and you'll see why you know, this is important. So you see how long it's taking. I'm actually going to start my timer right now, and I'm going to pause the video so that you don't have to suffer like I'm suffering right now, to see exactly how long it takes for this to finish uploading. Well, fortunately, I didn't have to stop it. I didn't have to pause it. But I want to show you something. Look right up here where it says size, okay? The size of this document came in at 672.959 inches wide. It's supposed to be 20 inches, not 672 inches. And high is 388 inches, 0.945. That's entirely too big, which is the other reason why it takes so long for all of this to import into Cricut Design Space. So I'm going to leave this file just like it is. Don't click anything on the right hand side. Don't ungroup it. Come straight up to where it says size, and we'll go ahead and start typing in that width, okay? 20.556. So all I did was click in that square, make sure that the entire number was highlighted, and then hit enter. Okay, now what happens is if you leave that padlock locked, it automatically knows the height that it's supposed to be roughly, and it pretty much gets it right every time. Now that's one positive I can say about doing it this way with Cricut Design Space. So notice it automatically got the height correct at 11.881. Okay, those are the sizes that we wrote down for the most part, and that's what we want for Cricut Design Space. But notice, okay, look at all these dots over here on the right hand side. So what it essentially did is, look, there's one little dot there. So imagine how huge this would have been if we had left it at 600 and whatever it was before. Those dots would have been entirely too big for your rhinestones. So what happens is when you import a design into Cricut Design Space without knowing the right size, well, the way the file was designed, your stone holes will be the wrong size. Okay, now I did select one hole, and let's see if it shows. It won't show us the size because it's grouped, so I'm going to look, and it won't even let me ungroup. All right, you really would want to ungroup it, because if you want to do this in all rhinestones and not the SVG, you can't even break it apart, okay? Because the file is entirely too big. It's got all these dots. It's too much, okay? It is entirely too much. So this is why Inkscape, which is a free program, or Make the Cut, which is not free, but it's a really good program as well. That's why one of those two programs is your better bet, instead of using the non-additional program way, because now I can't even really show you what I want because I can't break this whole thing apart. All right, so I'm frustrated now. I'm just gonna scrap this whole thing. I can't even break it apart, so it's no point in me continuing on with that tutorial. Okay, so I just did a whole new blank screen, and I'm going to show you my steps for putting a rhinestone template in Make the Cut and in Cricut Design Space. So I'm going to open up Make the Cut, and when we open Make the Cut, it's going to show the splash screen, and here is a canvas. It looks so similar to Cricut. All right, now up here on this toolbar in this section here, this shows you the different types of files you can import and work with Make the Cut. So being that this is strictly rhinestone tutorial, that's all I'm going to show you. I'm not going to go into detail of the other things. That's a whole nother video. So let's click on SVG. Remember I told you that's the cut file. So we'll click on SVG, and it opens. I've already been to that folder. I navigated to it already. So I have it already pulled up. I'm going to select this one, which is the one that we imported straight into Cricut, and then change the size. So we're going to open it up and make the cut. Notice, look up here at the size, 20.5560 by 11.8806. This is the right size of your file. Okay, you didn't have to change the size of it because Make the Cut got it correct. Cricut does not. So let's click off of that because everything came in grouped together, and I'm going to show you how to isolate this into just a Bling design. So I'm going to come down here and I'm going to actually delete these other cut files. I don't want them. Okay, so I'm going to draw a box around this. It's highlighted. I'm going to hit delete on my keyboard. Same here. I'm going to highlight that. Hit delete on my keyboard because I only want a straight Bling design. I don't want the vinyl, and I don't need this YOU down here because I have it up here where it's supposed to be. And I'm going to delete this one, or I could actually keep it if you wanted to not waste or use this extra rhinestone template material where it's blank, because this could be a whole nother design in my opinion. So what I generally do is I keep the smaller file, or me personally, I'll come back and resize it so that I'm not wasting rhinestone template. But some people prefer to leave it at that size because the way they do their rhinestone template by layers, they layer it and it has to be the same size. So it's entirely up to you, but I'm just showing you the process of working with your files. So I'm going to work with it exactly as I do, and I'm actually going to take this one off because the template size is entirely too big for me, and I'm going to bring up and over this smaller one because this is the one that I know for a fact if it were me and I was doing this, this is what I would work with. So I'm going to bring this up, and we're going to talk now about rhinestones and how they're sized. So when you bring this file just like it is, I can save this. I can select all of it, and I can go up here to File, and I can do Export, and I can export everything to a whole new SVG file without all those other vinyl parts to it. And I can name this one Beautiful No Vinyl. Okay, and it will end up being just like this one here in a way, but it will be two separate files, the U, this square and that square. So I'm not going to do that right now because I need to show you something else really important. So what I'm going to do is show you, if you were to import this into Cricut right now, the way this is, it's going to import this square and this square, but it's also going to import each one of these little teeny holes, okay? Each one of them. And you don't want that, because the more material in a file that has to import into Cricut, the longer it's going to take. Okay, so it's going to do the exact same thing. Oh, this file's a little bit too big. It's taking a long time. It's not going to take quite as long as it did with the other cut files, but it's still going to take a long time. So what I do in Make the Cut, now I don't know if you can do this with Inkscape or not. And if there's someone out there that knows that you can go ahead and put that in the comments below on how you would do this in Inkscape. But this is what I do in Make the Cut. So I select the first template and highlight the green square and the circles, and I merge them all together. So instead of having one square and all these dots that Cricut is going to be looking at like, oh, it's just all these dots. Now Cricut is going to see this as, oh, it's just one sheet of paper with a bunch of holes in it. So it's one thing instead of all of those different things in one file. Okay, so this is what I do to make it look, and I'll show you how much faster it is. Okay, so I'm gonna show you how that works. Let's go ahead and put that back. I just hit the back button to put it back to where it was, and I am gonna select all of this just to show you. And we're going to export. Okay, again, when you're finished, you want to export it as an SVG file. Select it as an SVG file. And we're going to say time this file 1. Okay, because we're going to time it. So now that's exported. Now I'm going to go back and do what I did before. I'm going to select this whole section, and I'm going to come down here to the bottom and click join. I want to join all of those files together, and again, the program automatically cuts those circles out into one piece of paper. So let's go ahead and we'll select this template, and we're going to join this one as well. And again, now I have two different files that will import to Cricut, and that's it. I don't have anything else to bring into Cricut. Okay, so just two files instead of all of those different files with all those freaking circles. Each circle is its own file, but with this, it's just one paper with holes in it. Okay, so let's select both of these, and notice the size, 15.28 by 3.78. You will need to remember this. So we are going to export, select it to SVG file, and we'll say time this file to, and I'm going to hit save. Okay, now you still need to write down the size of this file, just like we did with the Internet Explorer way, but this time it's right here up at the very top, width and height, and make the cut. So let's write down the width is 15 inches, 0.2879, and then high is 3.7834. All right, so remember, I already saved it as an SVG file, so I'm going to minimize this right now, and Cricut is still running back here in the background. So let's go to upload, and we're going to upload an image. We're going to browse to that folder, and this time notice my time this file 1 and time this file 2 is there. So the first file, remember, was the square and all the dots. So let's open that. And as I mentioned before, this part doesn't take very long. See, it pops right up, and we'll hit save. All right. Now that we've saved it, let's select it and insert that onto the Design Space canvas. Now look at how long it's taking. Loading image is so large. It's swirling over here because it's processing all of those cut dots, and it's taking a while. Okay, first of all, we do know it's not gonna come in at the right size because that's just how Cricut Design Space works. Why it does that, I don't know. It's irritating a little bit to me, but it also helped me in make the cut so that I can make my own files, and it's easier. So notice it came in, everything is black. So I'm going to scroll down just to one of these squares. Look at all these dots I'm having to scroll through, you guys. It's like a pain, really. And I'm trying to find one of the squares so that I can change the color. It's probably at the very bottom. Of course it was. So let's change. Well, we got to ungroup it first. Look there. And I can't even ungroup it. I can't ungroup it, you guys. So let me see, even if I change the color, will it all be one color? Yes, it will all still be one color. But you can cut it out like this. Let's select it again and look at the size, because honestly, that's the main point. Well, one of the main points. The size is 19.11 wide by 4.729 high. What was our size again? 15 wide by 3 high. So the size is wrong. Oh, look, see, our circles showed up. I didn't know it would do that. So there are your circles, but still it's each individual circle, and they're all together. So we'll have to resize this, and we'll go 15.2879, and now this is the correct size that your rhinestone template should be. And again, you can cut it just like this. Okay, it's just gonna take forever for it to get onto your Cricut Design Space canvas. So let's squash this one. Too much of a pain. We're going to replace this one, and let's do the second file and see how long it takes. So let's hit upload, upload image, and we're going to go back to this folder and do time this file number 2, and we'll open that. And again, it shows right up, looks exactly the same as the first one. So let's hit save. All right, and now that that's saved, let's select it and insert it and see how long it takes. It's going to come in bigger It's still going to come in at the wrong size, but let's see how long it takes. Insert image, bam, right there. No questions asked, didn't take forever. It's right here on your desktop on the canvas. And notice the size is still wrong, but we'll change it. 15.2879, and it's supposed to be 3.7834 high, and that is what it needs to be. And now look, you have two different files to cut out on your Cricut. So you just send this straight to your Cricut machine, you hit make it, you got two different files to cut out. Once you're done, you just end up putting this and with the stones in that color, the stones in that color, and then you press it, and there you have a rhinestone shirt. So that's how you make or cut rhinestone templates with Cricut Design Space. So I know this took a smidge longer than I wanted it to, but I wanted to cut right to the point. If you have any questions, drop them in the comments below. I'll link many of the locations of where I got this design from will be in the description. Where you can get your rhinestone flock will be in the description. Where you can get rhinestones will be in the description. And if you have any questions, again, you can leave them in the comments. Please give this video a thumbs up if you found it helpful. Also, subscribe to our channel. Generally, I do more embroidery type of videos, but in this instance, I felt like there were so many questions about Cricut and how to use it with rhinestones. I really wanted to make a video to help those guys out and to show you the reason why we have to do things a certain way. And to make it easier on you. So thank you very much for viewing this video, and until the next time we see you, we hope you have a great day. Bye.